The recorder was still running when she asked it, "Won't you stay for a while?" Neither of us had answered, and the question sat in the middle of that studio like a chair someone had pulled out for us.
Thank you, really, but we're not staying.
No, we're not staying. Half a second, that is how late I was. She said it, and then I said it, and the space between us was too small to hear on tape. Nobody remarked on it, nobody ever does. The picture light over the easel went out behind her, and we let ourselves out into the dark. I did not tell her the rest of it, that for half of 1 second I had wanted to say yes, and I had no idea what for. By the time we came back through the double doors, the gallery had turned itself off. Same rooms, same floor under the same shoes, the light coming from somewhere lower than the lights. It is the same building at night the way a person is the same person asleep. I went straight to the registry, because the registry is the one thing in here that talks like a document. Halfway down the page it stops being a document. The sentence walks into the name of the next room and comes out the other side as characters that are not letters, and it does not stop, and it does not correct itself.
Don't read that part out loud. I don't like the shape of it.
Under the heading where a level tells you how likely you are to survive it, nothing had been filled in. The slots were still sitting there showing their own names, in braces, waiting for numbers that were never coming.
The two lists are still here. Ways in, ways out. Look at what they're called now.
Someone has taken the fruit before you. That is where the entrances used to be. Go ask the young painter how she paints. That is where the exits used to be. Both headings still open, both of them empty underneath.
She isn't here at night, Cole. It's telling us to go and ask someone who isn't here.
That is the part that got me, and it took me a while to say it plainly even to the tape. The level had not turned dangerous. It had stopped telling us the way out. Those are different things, and only one of them is polite. And underneath that quieter, the thing I did not put on the tape, it has not stopped talking. It has only stopped talking to both of us. In daylight, there's a small warm room behind those doors. Bulbs, a bench, canvases hung at eye level. At night, there's a colonnade instead. It runs back further than the building has room for, and every arch down its length has a god on it.
This room wasn't here this afternoon.
Do you see, dear wanderer, the Onyx King's regal command? The timekeeper's drunken stupor, the lover's fiery passion, take your time with them. They have had nothing but time, and they have learned how to be looked at.
It was not coming from the paintings. It was not behind us. I looked down at the needle on the recorder, and the needle was not moving.
But they are not just paintings. To me, they are never just paintings. A painting is a room that somebody was standing in. Hang enough of them along one hall and you have built a house, and a house has to be kept by something. There is a girl who works the far end of this hall. Perhaps she has been here for 10 years, perhaps 10 centuries. Why, I wouldn't know. Only that in half the time I have touched and dyed every single mile of marble.
Cole, it isn't talking about us. It's talking to us.
She works and she does not look up, and I have never once minded. There is enough hole for the two of us. There has always been enough hole. It is the looking up that costs you.
Every arch we passed had another one on it, and the hall did not get any shorter behind us.
They are alone here now beyond death or judgment. Perhaps it is only in this place that they can be together in serenity, like equals, like family. In some ways it feels a little like a reunion. I should think you would know something about that.
Edith did not move. I heard the word it had chosen, and then I heard which one of us it had aimed the word at.
You keep a record. I have watched you do it since you came in through the doors. The little machine, the careful voice, nothing gets lost. That is my work also, and I have done it alone for a very long time. Stay, and I will give you a room to keep it in, and a name to sign it with.
And her, there are two of us in this hall. You have had 4 hours to notice that. What is the offer for her?
The room I have in mind faces east, insofar as anything here faces anything. It is quiet. You will be able to hear yourself thinking it, which I understand is not a small thing where you have been.
It didn't say we, it didn't say me. You asked it a straight question about me, and it told you about the furniture. It's been saying you this entire time. It hasn't offered me anything. It hasn't even looked at me. Whatever this is, I'm the part of the room it's waiting out.
I told her it was a room talking, and I said it the way you say a thing you would like to be true. The poster by the entrance had promised a special guest artist coming soon. That poster has been up since the afternoon. Nobody ever said who. We walked further in. I was not arguing with it anymore, which I only noticed afterwards on the tape. If it has been watching me since the doors, then it knows what I have been carrying. It knows whether Mercer is a man or a mistake I have been walking after for a year.
A mistake is only a record kept by somebody careless. I am not careless. Ask me properly, and I will tell you what your tape could not.
Edith, did I say any of that out loud?
You didn't say anything. You haven't said a word in about a minute. Cole, what did it say to you? You've gone the color of the floor, and I didn't hear anything.
There's a way the floor of a thing gives out under you and you find you are still standing. That was that. The last private room I owned opened up like a drawer by something that had been standing in it the whole time. And here's the part I do not come out of well. Standing there with that just done to me, I thought about staying, not out of fear of it, because it was holding out the one thing I have been walking toward since the beginning, somewhere to put the record, a name to sign at the bottom of it. So I asked it out loud on the tape in front of her. There's a word on a recording in a room 2 levels back. Tell me where it came from.
Names travel badly down here. They wear out in the mouth, they get taken up by the wrong doors, and they arrive at you meaning somebody else. That is not a failure of the name. That is what corridor does to name.
Mercer, I checked the registry this afternoon. He was real, he was here, and the dates are 20 years wrong for me. Say the name back to me and tell me it is mine.
I could give you a name tonight that would fit. You would answer to it inside a week and never once catch yourself. Is that the thing you actually came looking for, or is it the keeping? Stay, and you would not have to decide.
That is not an answer. You have had every mile of this place for 10 centuries, and you cannot give me one line about one man. It never said no, that is the whole trick of it, listening back. Nothing it said was a lie, and nothing it said was an answer, and I stood there doing the arithmetic on whether that was good enough. There is one painting at the back of the hall, hung by itself, further from the others than it needs to be. I had read about it in daylight. I started walking toward it.
The page says it, word for word. The painting hanging at the back of the room should not be approached at any cost. That's the level's own writing, Cole, and the level is what's talking to you tonight.
She did not stay behind, and she did not stop me. She came with me, arguing the entire way, one step behind my shoulder, which is worse than either.
You're doing the thing. You did it at the water and you did it at the doors. You get quiet and you get reasonable, and then you're gone and I'm the one standing there.
I told her I only wanted to see it, which was true, and which is the sentence I have said before every single thing I have ever done down here.
Then look at it from here. You can see it from here. Tell me what's different about it from here.
We did not reach it. I want that on the record because of how close we came, and because of how ordinary my legs felt doing it.
I'm not doing PlayLand again. That's it. That's the whole argument. I watched you go somewhere I couldn't follow, and then it was months, and every one of them I spent working out how to say your name to somebody who might have seen you.
Edith, stop.
No, you get to hear it. It offered you a name and a room, and it did not offer me one thing, and you were standing there working out whether that was enough. I am not doing it twice. You want to know what I did in the months? I asked. That's what I did. Every room, every person still upright, I said his name and I watched their face to see if it meant anything, and it never did, not once, and I kept doing it. So no, not again. Not while I'm standing here and can stop it.
It was not the argument that did it. It was that she was not frightened of the level. She was frightened of the months. Then down the far end, past the arches, the painter, not looking at us, not stopping. She went through something at the end of the hall and the something closed behind her, and I got about 4 seconds of it.
Which one? Cole, which one? There are 3 down there.
Left of the last arch, it was a door, a real one with a handle on it. It was not there this afternoon, and I have the afternoon on tape.
That's not the one. That's not where she was. If we pick wrong, we are on this level until it decides otherwise, and it has already decided what it wants.
She walked the length of it in about 6 steps, and there is nothing on that wall but the door. I am not guessing. I watched the handle move.
You watched a door that wasn't there this afternoon, on a level that spent all night working out what you want. Say that out loud and tell me it still sounds like a door.
Then we stand here and we get it right, and it keeps talking, and in an hour I am not going to want to leave. That is the actual clock, not the door, me. Behind us, the hall had got quiet in the way. A room goes quiet when the thing in it is waiting for an answer. We did not have another 4 seconds to spend on being right. Trust me,